I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up. Rushing like a bullet into the end zone. Defense, hold up, no scoring in the red zone. Throw it up, pick 6, I feel like I'm Josh Rowe. Throwing downs over the shoulder, think I'm Jack Winmo. I need me back to back, trying to be like Vulture. Cause a storm, cause I'm mighty, it's in the culture. Esports TV, YouTube, Twitch, SFL live tuning, you don't wanna miss. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack them. Next level like my entertainment. NXT on the stream, 8 p.m. on the beat. Catch me on the cam like I'm SFL commish. Yeah, you only got one chance, you can never miss. For the glory, revolution, feel my fury. Cause I'm a legend out in Canton, and I'm playing with dragons. I'm the king of this legion. SFL action, tuning this season.
Kickoff! Are you kidding me?
All they're gonna need is
Big pop, it's up in the air! And
Oh,
it's
no.
good.
Yeah.
There you go! That's the kickoff that he's gonna win!
He's gonna go! Jason Power! Touchdown!
I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack up.
Tulsa running back Douglas Brown said in our community chat, I've waited all week for this. Mike Daggs has waited all week for Mike St. Green, and we've waited all week for SFL action here on Next Level Sports. Good afternoon. I am Cameron Irvine along with Mike St. Green, Carolina Skyhawks, and Tulsa Desperados today. Good afternoon, Mike.
Good afternoon, Cam. Great to be here, man. I'm excited about this matchup, but man, we had some great action last night. I'm pretty sure we're going to get to it at some point throughout the day. But man, I'm excited for this matchup. It's going to be special.
An epic highlight reel coming at halftime of this one. But today, a new team enters the national fold of sorts here today, Mike, as Carolina, a new energy, 3-3, but they've lost some close ones to 5-1 DC, to Vancouver, who even though they are 4-3 now, a very, very good football team. Carolina is much better than their record, and they are playing some really good football as of late, led by their dynamic duo in the backfield, Hattori Hanzo and Pseudo Nakai.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Carolina, they always play tough, tight games that they always seem to come out on the the opposite end or the wrong end of. But this season, I typically refer to them as team heartbreak. They always figure out a way to seem like blow a close game. But this season, as you mentioned, it seemed like it's a new energy about them. They seem to coming out on top of a lot of these close games, and they're right here at 3-3 with an opportunity to really set themselves up nicely going into the second half of the season. And one reason why is because of that duo that you just mentioned, Hattori Hanzo and Pseudo Nakai, 8 touchdowns rushing between both of them, but most of that load's been carried by the fullback Hanzo, who's averaging about 5.7 yards a carry, and he's really been letting that Carolina offense go to work and really get some things done.
Which is really difficult to do as a fullback in this league. I mean, everybody's gunning for you up the middle, but Carolina's been able to mix them up in the scheme and gotten them some good looks. This Skyhawk defense has been pretty good too. Shravan Prasad can catch the football. He's got a couple of picks this season, and they're doing pretty nice up front as well. Phil Hall, Christopher Colon, they always hold it down up there, and the Skyhawks defense actually some pretty top rankings so far this season.
Yeah, you just mentioned Phil Hall, 6 sacks on the season, and they've really been doing a good job, as you mentioned, of keeping the team in games, and that's a lot of reason why they play a lot of these tough, tight games and giving themselves an opportunity to score at the end and win a couple of these games. They came up short a couple of weeks ago against the great Vancouver team, but then they bounced back with a great win last week. So these guys have been doing a good job on both sides of the ball. Sam Avalis, I can't fail to mention him. He's really having a breakout season at the wide receiver spot. He's only about 30 yards away from his career high in reception yards, only halfway through the season. So he's doing a great job offensively as well.
This Tulsa defensive line is always nasty. Jaden Swift and Berto Demora lead that squad up front. Skinny Washington has taken the place of King Rashid this season as the slot nickel back for Tulsa and is off to a very strong start. And these Desperados, Mike, winners of 4 in a row. They lost to Motor City in week 1, kind of an enigma team. It's hard to fault them for that. Then they lost to London. They let that game get away from them. London is number 1 in the league right now at 7-0, so you can't really fault them much for that either. They've rattled off 4 straight since.
Oh, yeah, they've done a great job. And if you start mentioning that defense, you can't, forget about Nate Heslop. He has 6 interceptions for that squad. They do a great job of turning the ball over. Great secondary. You mentioned the rookie Skinny Washington. He's come in and done a solid job for that defense. But let's start with the number 1 draft pick from last season, Douglas Brown. He's having a fantastic follow-up season to a solid rookie season that he had, last season. 8 rushing touchdowns, only 1 shy of what he rushed for all of last season, averaging 4.8 a carry and 33 receptions is only about 10 away from what he did last season. So he's having a really productive, kind of quietly actually having a productive second season in the league.
Well, Brown's one of those players that in the first half, he kind of seems bottled up, and you think, Douglas Brown's not having such a good day. That third and fourth quarter gets going. He gets over 100 yards. He starts bruising people, and he becomes a problem to handle. JQ on the shoulder behind me. I'm wrong. It's always 50-50 shot. You always get it wrong. On the poster behind me, our viewers are our superstars, and he's always one to watch out for as well. Nate Heslop on our poster here today has been excellent in the secondary, and this is the first of 4 games going on today around the SFL. Sioux Falls and Baltimore will kick off in about 20 minutes. The Baltimore Vultures still unbeaten, the 2-time defending champs, going up against Sioux Falls in a rematch of the season 15 championship game. Later tonight, Lone Star, Arizona, Jacksonville, Denver. Mike, where do you want to focus?
Let's start with our bonus coverage game today, that Sioux Falls and Baltimore matchup. Sioux Falls basically one of the most mysterious teams in the league, just because we don't really get to see or hear a lot from the players on that Sioux Falls Sparrows team, but they are led by one of the all-time greats in this league. He's quietly one of the all-time greats, Julian Tyree. He's having a solid season this season, 6 touchdown passes on the year. And this team is not necessarily a mystery team, but obviously they're 3-time champs over the last 4 seasons. But what they're doing and how they're going about winning this season is kind of mysterious. But, we don't see Jack Wigmore, leading the league in passing yards and touchdowns and things of that sort. But he still tops in QBR with a 107.7. But since last season, about mid-season, when Warren Murray joined this team, he has really been a key to what the Baltimore Vultures like to do and have been doing. He's still up there amongst the top running backs in the league. Again, this season, 7 touchdown rushes and 9 touchdowns total. He's been a key to what the Baltimore Vultures are doing offensively this season.
The Baltimore Vultures back at home after they were off last week. Sioux Falls is 3-3, right in the thick of the playoff picture. We will have that first look at that playoff picture for our TV audience at halftime. Plus, if you missed yesterday or just want to relive it, it's an epic highlight reel coming, the best of Friday night action in the SFL, also at the break. But for now, it is Mike Daggs and Gerald Smith on the call after the break of Carolina-Tulsa. Enjoy your game. Mike and I will be back here at halftime. You're watching the SFL on Next Level Sports, presented by ATN Music.
Next Level Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
Welcome to Lucy Red Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Visit Lucy Red Energy Drink at lucyred.com and see why the energy is amazing. As the Tulsa Desperados play host to the Carolina Skyhawks. Good evening, everybody. I am Mike Daggs. Joining me in the booth is the snowball connoisseur Gerald Smith. With us on stats today, Jay Hayden and the legendary Eddie Gage. You are watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Gerald, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good.
Well, that's good, man. Hey, these teams have crossed the halfway point in the season, and all eyes are looking at starting the second half off strong. Carolina finds themselves at 3-3, but they're 3 games back from first place in a tough Atlantic division behind Baltimore and D.C. They have a strong defense that doesn't allow many passing yards or points, and they're poised to make a run for the playoffs. Tulsa, they started off shaky 0-2 to start the season, but they're 4-0 since then, coming off a strong road win over the Minnesota Legend, a come-from-behind victory, actually. They sit up top the Central Division, but Sioux Falls and Minnesota are both hot on their heels. What are the keys to victory for each of these teams tonight?
It's going to be the defense. Carolina comes in this week with the number 2 defense and overall yards allowed per game, while Tulsa sits at 27th in yards allowed per game. But are in the top half of the league in forcing turnovers. On the flip side, the offense of Tulsa is 6th in scoring thus far, with Carolina being at the bottom of the league in points scored per game. Whichever team comes out more dominant on defense stands the best chance of coming out with the win tonight.
All right, well, as Matt Wilson would say, there's only one way to find out, and that's on the field. So we'll head down to the field to get this game started. Tulsa will kick the ball off. Carolina will start on offense first tonight. Brooke Beisel kicks this one away, and we are underway here in Tulsa. Kick return taken right up the middle. Oh, a couple of dangerous spin moves there. Brings them up to the 26-yard line. Kick return done by Tony Zoma. Matt South, the quarterback of the Carolina Skyhawks, coming out onto the field for the first time tonight, getting things going. He's joined by halfback Sudo Nakai, the fullback Hattori Hanzo, the wide receivers Sam Avalis, Tony Zoma, and Harish Prasad, the tight end Vince DeSantis. Watch number 75 left guard Rylan Caudill try to open up some running lanes, not able to get one open there as Miles Gibson gets the stop at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're trying to get Hattori Hanzo going early, which they have all season. He's their leading rusher on the squad, so I think they're going to lean heavily on him today.
South under center on second down. Hands this ball off up the middle. And a short gain this time of 2 yards will set up a 3rd down and 8. The starting defense for the Desperados, defensive linemen Chris Andrews, Berto Demora, Mike Mello, and Jaden Swift. The linebackers Miles Gibson and David Ware, as well as Philadelphia Collins. The corners Nate Heslop, Skinny Washington, Cameron Shaw, and the safeties Travis Arthur and Marco Swift. South in the gun on 3rd and 8. Quick pass over the middle. He's got his man. 41-yard line. It is complete for a 1st down.
Yeah, and that's not typically how Carolina really likes to attack the opposing defenses. There's just run game, but on 1st and 2nd down, the run defense of Tulsa stood up pretty good.
Sam Avalis with the reception. Ball is handed off again. Oh, this time met right in the backfield. 2nd stop for Miles Gibson as he gets the tackle for a loss. 2nd and 11.
Yeah, and through 3 rushing plays from Carolina, Tulsa showed why they are the number 2 rushing defense in the league, only allowing 67 yards a game.
Back to the skies we will go. 4 wide receivers and a tight end in the set. South over the middle once again. Another 1st down in Tulsa territory.
Yeah, and again, Carolina has to go to the air. Maybe you know it's early on in the game, but it seems like they may have to go to that because Tulsa does have the worst passing defense in the league.
That'll probably be tested often tonight. First down and 10 from the Tulsa 48. Pass down to the bottom this time, getting it out to Hanzo. And that is good for a gain of 3 yards as the methodical drive continues. A nice mix of the run and the pass so far, Gerald.
Right. And they dump it off to Hanzo, 6'2", 45. That's kind of a big guy there.
It is. It is a beefy man to bring down. 2 wide receivers out to the right, offset I in the backfield. South out route down to the bottom. That one is complete, getting the tight end involved. Vince DeSantis with his first catch of the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that this is what Carolina is doing there, right? They tested the Tulsa defense early on in this drive, and it seems like they're going to try to use the passing game to open up the run game.
First and 10 from the 35-yard line. 3 receivers, a tight end, and a running back in the formation. South, quick pass over the middle to the slot receiver. That one's complete for another first down. Once again connecting with Tony Zoma on the play. And Gerald, this drive has been either short handoffs up the middle or these short, quick passes.
Yeah, like if I know a Shannon Varner offense when I see one, I think he's done had these plays on this first drive scripted for this squad, you know, just to do a couple little test runs up the middle, see what he's got, and then go back to throwing.
Deep drop by South. Oh, tried to get a little bit more yardage on that play. Went back to DeSantis about 15 yards downfield, well defended by the Desperados. Second down and 10.
Yeah, that was the first pass there that they had. Tulsa was able to get some defenders around the wide receiver to break that ball up.
Back to the 2 wide receiver look now on second down. Ball is handed off to Pseudo Nakai, and he's able to gain 3 yards on the play. You know, as Cam and Mike mentioned in the pregame show, Gerald, Nakai and Hanzo split carries pretty evenly, you know, on the season so far. Even last week in their win over Seattle, Nakai with 19 carries, Hanzo with 17 carries. They both had about the same amount of yards, too, 55 and 69. Another quick pass over the middle. That one is once again complete. I wasn't sure if he actually caught that, but he caught it on the slide.
I was more surprised that everybody was jumping over him. He was about to get up and take off.
Harish Prasad with the bizarre catch. Everyone's like, I don't want to tackle him.
I think they were like, man, we just want our laces to touch him so we don't get that 15-yarder. We don't know if he gave himself up or what.
And that was enough work for Prasad as he heads to the sideline to take a breath. It was a lot of running. First down and goal now for the Skyhawks. Ball is handed off straight up the gut into the end zone. Touchdown, Skyhawks. Hattori Hanzo with the touchdown. He had 1 last week. He had 5 on the season. Make that number 6.
Yeah, it was Hanzo territory as he's been most of the season. You know, for Carolina, that's a 6 rushing touchdown, which leads the team out of running back. So that was a very, very good drive out of 12 play drive. It's amazing. Come down in the opening drive and do that and take off as much time as they did.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a great mix of the run and the pass the entire time, Gerald. You know, they tried to go somewhat deep only one time. That pass didn't work, but all of the short passes connected, and were able to keep on getting first downs and did so without really putting the ball in harm's way. So now it'll be up to the Desperados, the hometown team, to try to match Carolina's effort.
This man about to receive this kick is fun to watch.
Whistle Jones kicks this one away, and it is returned by Gabriel Manning. Only up to the 24-yard line that time, but anytime Manning gets that ball in his hands on a return, you have got to take notice. Number 1 in the league in so many returning categories, Gerald. The sheer number of kick and punt returns, total yards of kick and punt returns. Number 1 in kick return touchdowns with 21. Number 2, though, in punt return touchdowns behind a 1 Jeffrey Daggs. First down and 10 for the Desperados. Make that second down and 13. A great tackle for a loss by the Skyhawks defense.
Yeah, Chris Cologne, he just unblocked. Unblocked. He just had a free rush. If he missed that tackle, somebody have a talk with that man. You can't miss that one.
Second down and 13, JQ, the quarterback up at the line of scrimmage. Q will throw, gets it out to Douglas Brown. Brown spins, gets his lost yardage back, and that's about all. It'll be a third down and 9 coming up. The starting offense for the Desperados, quarterback JQ, the halfback Douglas Brown, the fullback Justin Williams, wide receivers Sanzo Robinson, Corey Jones, DJ Hume, and Gabriel Manning. The tight end is Jim Copeland Jr., and the bookends of the offensive line, left tackle Will Stevens, right tackle Phoebe Collins. 5 wide on third down. Q to throw over the middle. That one's complete. DJ Hume with the catch up at the 39-yard line, moves the chains, keeps the drive alive.
Way to hang in there, JQ. He's seen him open, and he threw it, and he was able to get to him while getting hit. That was, oh my God.
Oh, Sanzo Robinson trying to intercept it.
He's like, that's mine.
Yeah, well, I guess you had 2 potential targets there, but Hume the one that's able to bring that one in. It's a good thing that Robinson didn't accidentally swat that down. Q drops back, gets it out to Douglas Brown once again. Brown lowering his shoulder. He'll gain 7. The starting defense for the Carolina Skyhawks. Defensive line, Ryan Ray, Christopher Cologne, Bobo Caudill, and Phil Hall. The linebackers, Clint Hendershot, Danny Stinson, and Shravan Prasad. The corners, Tristan Hatley, Skippy Curtis, and Davidson Joseph. And the safeties, Monty Wyatt, Kane Vasquez, and Lincoln Kingseed. Ball is handed off once again to Brown. Can't really get the running game going quite yet. No gain on the play, third down and 3.
Yeah, Shravan Prasad came around the side, was able to, grab Douglas Brown before he was able to hit that hole. I don't know if he had much of a hole there. It kind of collapsed right after he got in the ball.
Third down and 3. Looking to keep this drive going. They converted a third down earlier on the drive. See if they can do it again. Oh, deep pass down the right-hand side. Oh, and it's incomplete. Was trying to hit Corey Jones. I don't know if it got tipped, Gerald, but was not able to haul that one in.
Yeah, Tristan Hatley got a finger on it to change his trajectory, to throw his focus off the wide receiver, and the ball fell to the ground. Good defensive showing for Carolina there.
Oni Zoma back to receive this punt. Calls for the fair catch at the 18-yard line, and that is where the Skyhawks will take back over on offense. If you are new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, you can visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Matt South, he'll put the ball into someone's hands. Who's it going to be? Well, he's going to swing that out to Pseudo Nakai. Nakai hit behind the line. Once again, Miles Gibson making plays left and right, usually for a loss. 2nd and 11.
Oh, he knew that was coming. He's seen that no sooner they snapped the ball, and he was right on it.
Yeah, he was sprinting that He was sprinting that direction the moment that Nakai leaned to his right. Trips formation down to the bottom. Out route pass thrown up to the top. That one is caught. Good for a gain of 6, 3rd and 5.
Man, Vince gotta like put that foot in the ground and turn up, man. He had another 7 to 8 yards on that one if he would have put his foot in the ground and made that turn properly.
Yeah, he definitely had an opportunity for yards after catch, but was not to be. Crowd here in Tulsa on their feet for 3rd down and 5. South looking, firing over the middle, and he's got a wide open receiver at the 34-yard line. Caught for a 1st down. It's Harish Prasad again.
Yeah, man, they're doing really, really good. They're perfect on 3rd downs, and since they had the ball on these last 2 drives here, and they're just slowly, methodically moving the ball down.
They throw it to Harish. He'll make the catch. Heads to the pine. Ball handed off up the middle. Only a gain of 1 on the play. Getting Hanzo back involved. You can see the rushing comparison between him and Douglas Brown of Tulsa. Not a lot of rushing to be done. It's really been the passing game that's kept these drives going for Carolina so far.
Yeah. With like I said, with Tulsa being so studly on defense in the run game, Carolina's going to have to turn to the pass game.
South with a pass into traffic, and that one is incomplete. 3rd down and 9. That one was well defended. Pass batted down to the ground by one of the backup corners of all people, Lee Palmer.
Yeah, and Tulsa's one of the better teams with taking the ball away, right? Like if they especially in the passing side, right? So if they want to be able to hold Carolina to slow them down a bit, especially passing wise, they need to start getting in the way of these passes and force some turnovers.
4 wide receivers on 3rd down and long, throwing for 1st down yardage, but it picked off right on cue. Skinny Washington with the pick, the 3rd round pick from San Jose, gets the interception, and the ball is back in Tulsa's possession.
Yeah, and just as I said it, right, and Skinny Washington, right, he's one of the more vocal players on this Tulsa team. He stepped right in front of it, and he played the ball better than the wide receiver did on that one.
Skinny Washington with his 2nd career interception. He must be confused, though, because on his 1st career interception, it was a pick 6. So he's probably, he may have thought that when you get a pick, you score every time. So not that time, but your team takes over in opponent territory.
Ooh, wow.
Quick pass for 11 yards, connecting over the middle. Firing it to Gabriel Manning. Adding on to his illustrious career. 1st down and 10 just outside the red zone.
I'll tell you what, if you're going to throw it to anybody in traffic, I throw it to that man right there because he's excellent over the course of his career.
JQ in the gun for the Desperados. Another quick pass over the middle. Led his targets just a little too far. Trying to go back to Corey Jones. Pass falls harmlessly to the turf. 2nd down.
Yeah, he had some time, man. I think, if he'd let it go a little bit longer, I think he could have made a better throw. I think he just got a little bit of happy feet and antsy wanting to get the ball off there.
One minute to go in quarter number 1. JQ sidearms a pass over the middle, and that one is caught. Went back down to Gabriel Manning. Q now 5 of 7, 49 yards. Nifty little pass there, Gerald.
Right. I seen Clint Hender's shot right there. I can't believe he missed it. Maybe it was a little bit of sidearm action by Q, right? That kind of threw him off, but it was he got it to his intended target.
Hugh down to the bottom. That one is caught. DJ Hume getting another reception. 2nd down and goal from the 3.
Yeah, and I think this is where we may see some Douglas Brown on a swing route right here. It's perfect time for it. Perfect time for it right here for Douglas Brown on some sort of screen pass or swing route.
Douglas Brown with 203 receiving yards and a touchdown on the season. Could add to that total if he does get that swing route. No, he's going to take the handoff and try to get it up the middle. That one will not go anywhere. Tulsa knocking on the door of getting some points. We'll see if they can get it at the start of the second quarter. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Lucy Red Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. For third down and goal, Q fires it out to Douglas Brown. Can Brown get there? No, he's tackled at the goal line. Gerald, your favorite place to be tackled, right on the goal line, but somehow it doesn't count as a goal. 4th and goal from the goal line.
The goal line is the darn end zone. I don't know what these guys look. The guy was right there. He was right there looking right at it.
And they'll bring the field goal unit out. Brooke Beisel on for the field goal. Try to get Tulsa on the board, looking for their first points of the ball game. 10 of 11 on the season. Make that 11 of 12. Good from 17 yards out. Tulsa cuts into Carolina's lead, 7-3, after what was an efficient drive, Gerald. You know, they were able to get points off turnovers, which is important. You know, but when you start at the 33-yard line of opponent territory, you kind of hope to get a little bit more than the 3, but points is points.
Right. I think Tulsa there, they called the swing pass to Douglas Brown one play too late there. You know, I think if they do that early on, you know, it gives them another chance to do that because these two defenses, run defenses, as of right now through a quarter, are just tough. Just combined, there's only 10 yards between 3 running backs right now.
Tony Zoma gets it up to the 25-yard line. Matt South back out on the field. 8 of 11 for 80 yards and a pick so far in this game. Still have not seen much of a run game from either side. And we'll go back to the air on this one. Oh, right into the hands of the Tulsa Desperados defender. Philadelphia Collins getting his hands on the ball, Gerald. 2nd down.
Oh, man, he needs to take them gloves off or something. That should have been a pick 6 there.
The jugs machine with him.
But maybe that's why he's, you know, linebacker instead of a tight end because they have bad hands.
I wouldn't have dropped it. 2nd down and 10. Sudo Nakai gets the handoff, runs right into the waiting arms of Philadelphia Collins once again. Tackled on the play after a gain of only 1, 3rd down and 9.
And here goes another 3rd down. Both of these teams have been on a lot of 3rd down situations so far. And here goes Carolina, right? Carolina's been pretty good on 3rd down so far in this game.
South down to the bottom. Will not have enough yards to move the chains. Sam Avalos with the catch. Going to bring up a 4th down and 5.
That was a safe throw. He didn't want to chance anything. Throw it over the middle. But he took the safe route, hoping that, hey, if he catches it, maybe get in space and get somewhere. But I think they were okay with that result, given what the quarterback's seen, I think, on that play.
Malone Brown, the 5'10", 260-pound punter on the field for the Skyhawks. Gabriel Manning attempting to tie Jeffrey Daggs for all-time punt return touchdowns. Not able to do it on that return. Gets it up to the Tulsa 38-yard line, and JQ back out onto the field now. 6 of 8, 56 yards. Able to get some points on the board on their last possession. Now with an opportunity to potentially take the lead on this one. 2 wide receivers out to the left of the formation. Ball is handed off to Douglas Brown. Finally, some running game, passing the 40, 30, one man to beat. Can he do it? No. Tackled at the 12-yard line, but a huge rush for Douglas Brown.
Once he reached the line of scrimmage, it looked like he was shot out of a cannon. He took off. It looked like he was a little bit kind of timid coming through, and in which he said, "Whoa, I got it," and he took off. It was. He's like, I got nothing but green grass.
A 50-yard rush down the left sideline. Sets Tulsa up in great field position now. 1st down and 10 from the Carolina 12.
So much for that low average.
Yeah, fixed that problem. Q to throw, gets it back to Douglas Brown. Brown gets it all the way up to the end zone. Touchdown Tulsa, and they take the lead.
Yeah, they said he got us down here, so we might as well give it to him again. The commentator said we threw a dump pass to him a couple of plays too late. Let's just get it to him early in this area of the field, and he made it into the end zone. It was oddly similar to the last play before, but he was able to get right inside that pylon this time.
Douglas Brown with touchdown reception number 2 on the season, and that's his 10th touchdown all-purpose so far this season, as the extra point try is forthcoming by Brooke Beisel. Do not try to say that too fast. It's one of them tongue twisters, Gerald. Extra point is up, and it is good. 10-7, Tulsa with the lead. The SFL network is coming to the ESTV Plus app. 24/7 SFL programming will include content created by the community. The SFL's greatest games from the archives, exclusive network content, and live SFL regular season games. Download the ESTV Plus app on your Android or iPhone, or on your TV through Roku, Amazon Fire, Vizio, and more. The SFL network, where SFL creators come together. Zoma on the return now. Gets it up to the 24-yard line. And now, Gerald, Carolina's got some ground to make up.
Yeah, they're gonna have to stick to the air. I mean, because they've been really, really successful thus far. Whenever they move the ball, except for that one pass interception, unless they can get these 2 guys in their backfields going. But we know so far Tulsa's held really strong on the defensive side towards the run.
Ball is handed off and tackled once again for a loss is Sudo Nakai. Gerald, Carolina was able to move efficiently down the field, 12 plays, 74 yards, and got into the end zone on their opening possession. They have not been able to get anything on their last 2 possessions. Meanwhile, Tulsa couldn't get anything going on their opening drive, but their last 2, they were both able to score. Carolina's got to get back in it. South back to throw on 2nd and long. He's going to go long down the left-hand sideline, and that one's going to be incomplete. Throwing it into double coverage, counting on Harish Prasad to climb that ladder and make a play, but it was not to be. Brings up a 3rd down and a lengthy 13.
Yeah, that was a 50-50 ball there, right? You know, we're just throwing it up to Mr. Prasad, and hopefully he comes down with it. Looked like he had his hands on it, but looked like so did the defender did at the same time, and ball fell to the field.
It's the 4th pass attempt to Harish Prasad that has fallen incomplete. On 3rd down and 13, they go to Vince DeSantis, the tight end. We'll get up to the 29, but it's going to bring up another 4th down and 5. And once again, on back-to-back possessions, Carolina will have to punt.
Yeah, they're looks like offensively they're kind of starting to struggle. The Tulsa defense is putting up the better fight so far in this quarter.
Yeah, they are. And you mentioned their struggles on pass defense. Well, I think they may have made some adjustments knowing that they were going to potentially get a little bit picked on in this one. And, Carolina's first drive, they were able to pick them apart in the pass. But every drive since then, Tulsa's defense has stepped up well and been able to either break up the passes or stop them short of where they need to get to keep the drive going. So nice work by Tulsa on both sides of the ball. Douglas Brown right there getting the touchdown reception on their previous drive after a lengthy 50-yard run. See what he can do on this one. Q gets it right back to Douglas Brown. Brown trying to sidestep a defender, gets tackled at the 42-yard line, gain of 4.
And they're gonna keep dumping it off to Douglas Brown. He's been the most success that they've had, in the passing game thus far, along with, the running game. Before that last 50-yard run, believe it or not, he had an average of no yards.
Right.
And then he runs for 50, and then that's what he has on the day so far.
At one point, he had negative yards on the day. Out route down to Gabriel Manning is complete. 3rd down and 2 coming up. And this is, I think, where you would go right back down to Brown now.
Right, and this is where these last few drives where Tulsa has been successful. They've been able to put themselves in 3rd and shorts as opposed to Carolina. They've been in 3rd and longs, right? And it's really difficult to convert those, even if you're going against a defense that doesn't have a very good pass defense.
3rd reception by Manning. Got 29 yards on the day. Douglas Brown able to convert and get the 1st down into Carolina territory. Crossing midfield, tackled at the 49.
Yeah, and they just did what they did. Just give it to him. Didn't need a whole lot, and he got just what he needed to be able to reset the downs.
First down and 10 for the Desperados. Short drop by Q. Quick pass out to Brown. That one good for only a gain of 2. And, I think the Skyhawks defense has maybe already seen enough of those swing routes. They're starting to get there a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and the thing, I don't know if you know, the most important down for Tulsa has been 2nd down to put themselves in a 3rd and short. So we're going to see how they're going to fare on this one here.
Well, on 2nd and 8, they're going to go 5 wide. Q down the left sideline. Has Gabriel Manning for 6. Touchdown, Desperados.
And that has been one of their more successful downs on all the drives that they have been on 2nd down. They decided to take a shot to Gabriel Manning, and he was able to get past the defender. I'm not sure how, but he was able to get past the defender, and he was wide open by 5 yards.
I think I know how, because the man's got wheels for feet. Gabriel Manning just flying downfield. Gets a 47-yard touchdown reception. Now has 76 yards on the day and a touchdown to boot. Speaking of booting, Brooke Beisel out to boot the extra point. And Tulsa adding on some serious points here now, Gerald. They started off down 7, and since then they've put up 16 unanswered. Make it 17 unanswered. Extra point is up and good. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back for the conclusion of the second quarter. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back to Lucy Red Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tulsa up 17-7 over the Carolina Skyhawks. We'll start this drive once again from their own 24-yard line. And halfway through the second quarter, Gerald, and during the commercial break, you made a pretty interesting observation about Carolina's offense so far here in quarter number 2.
Yeah, Carolina has only been able to muster 10 total yards in the second quarter, which isn't good. That's 1.3 yards per play. That's not going to cut it if they want to get back in this game.
No, down 2 scores now in this one. They're going to have to try to get something going. The running game has not been working up until now. That's literally the best run of the ball game, getting 11 yards, on that carry by Pseudo Nakai.
And I think the defense just lost him. He's such a little bitty guy back there. They didn't see him in that whole bundle of mess, and he was able to squeak out of there and then run for about 12 yards.
First down and 10 from the 35. Nakai's stats not quite what you would usually see. Only 2 yards per carry so far in this one. Tulsa's defense done a great job stopping the run. Able to wrap Nakai up there for only a gain of 4. But, these gains of 4 wouldn't be the worst thing in the world either, Gerald.
No. If they can keep up that pace, I think they can slowly and move down the field, similar to what they did to their game opening drive. Where they moved down, had a time-consuming, drive there, and was able to move down and get points.
Once again, gets the handoff and no gain on that play. And Gerald, that's what we saw a lot in the first quarter. Those runs up the middle, just getting absolutely wrecked at the line. Philadelphia Collins, he's been in on a few of those stops.
Right, and then the Tulsa defense is forcing Carolina to be in these third and longs, and so far, their last 3 times that they've had the ball, they have not been successful on them.
South under pressure, throws into heavy traffic. I'm not even sure who the intended target was, but Berto Demora bearing down on him, and that's going to bring an end to the drive. South started out the opening possession looking pretty good. Since then, has tapered off a little bit. 10 of 15, 92 yards. Quarterback rating, Gerald, 55.4.
Right, and he went from being scared to like, I can't take a sack, and they give my guys the chance, and then they didn't have no chance because they just fell to the turf, you know. So that's not how you get back in the game here. And now the defense, you know, being as good as they are, they got to step up.
Matt South, one of the best protected quarterbacks throughout the season so far. He's only been sacked 5 times in 6 games. So, you know, he's not used to to getting laid down in the grass, and almost got sacked there. But, I think it was a panic throw. Just got that one away. The Tulsa offense back out on the field. Gabriel Manning down at the bottom. Had a 47-yard touchdown reception on the previous possession. JQ, quick pass over the middle, and that one nearly picked off. Oh, that would have gotten Carolina back in it. Clint Hendershot, he could be crossing the goal line right now if he had kept his hands on it.
Yeah, man. I think he's seen that end zone, but you know, and the ball at the same time. He was so excited, I guess, and he just couldn't hang on to it. Man, that would have definitely flipped the game on its head right there.
Absolutely would have. Q changing the play at the line. Out route down to the bottom. Going back to Gabriel Manning. 79 yards now on 5 catches. Third down and 6 from their own 27-yard line. Also on third down, only 2 of 5 so far, and a delayed handoff to Douglas Brown's not going to get it done. A loss of 2 on the play. Brings up a 4th down and 8. Clinton Hendershot back-to-back plays, getting in on the action.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what Tulsa wanted to do there, but hey, if they've been having Carolina on their heels in the passing game, being able to move the ball in the passing game as they feel like they wanted. I thought they was going to try to get them off guard, but they were ready for that one.
Punt taken up to the 43-yard line, and Carolina gets some of their best starting field position of the ball game. See if they can capitalize off this one, Gerald. 2 minutes, 47 seconds to go in the first half. They can only hope to at least get some points before halftime. Tulsa will get the ball to start half number 2.
And they're in really good field position here, and they can just get themselves into a field goal range. They can turn this into a 1-score game.
South under pressure. He's sacked for the 6th time on the season. Pressured on the previous drop back and was able to actually get there on that one. Jaden Swift with the sack, his 5th of the season.
And I am beginning to be impressed with Tulsa's pass defense today, with the way they've been able to put pressure on the quarterback and forcing Mr. South into bad throws.
South, quick pass over the middle. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Gets sacked on 1st down, loses 6. On 2nd down, he connects with Tony Zoma and gets the 1st. That's impressive.
I tell you what, the former tight end and Tony Zoma, he caught that pass and he carried those guys about another 5 yards. He's like, we hadn't had a 1st down in a little minute. I'm going to get this 1st down right here.
It's time. I'm doing it. 2 minutes to go here in what's been an exciting back and forth first half. You're watching the Simulation Football League. We'll be back after this to finish up half number 1. Stay with us. 2 minutes to go in the first half from Lucy Red Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Carolina in possession of the football. Down 2 scores. Matt South under pressure again. Gets it to Nakai behind the line of scrimmage. Speaking of carrying people for 5 yards, Gerald. Only a gain of 3 on the play, but he carried the defender for at least 6.
Yeah, man, that little bitty guy says Zoma can do it, so can I.
That little bitty guy. That's rude. I mean, he's only 5'7", 195, but
yeah, man, that's a little guy. That's
South with a short pass over the middle, complete for 4. Getting it back to DeSantis. 3rd down and 3, and in no particular hurry, Gerald. I guess they feel comfortable with their 3 timeouts and minute 14 to go.
Yeah, they're finally in a 3rd and extremely manageable. You know, and look, and I really do like this formation here, and the way the defense is playing. I think they're going to have something here.
South. What they have is a sack brought down by David Ware, the outside linebacker, coming in on the blitz, getting the sack and putting an end to the drive.
I really was convinced that they was going to take some sort of a short route over the middle, short out route and stuff like that, just to get themselves in a position to be able to kick a field goal. And those long routes and the way that this pass defense has been playing, you can't hold on to the ball for that long. And their defensive line, you know, their defensive front 7, it's pretty studly at Tulsa.
Coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report, Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green will break down the first half between the Skyhawks and the Desperados, check in on the playoff standings, recap the best of Friday's action, refresh the power rankings, media, and coach polls, and update you on action going on at Sports Gamers Online Stadium between Sioux Falls and Baltimore, where surprisingly, it's the second quarter and Baltimore only up 7-0. It's all coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report. 15 seconds to go. Gerald, you think a handoff to the Douglas Brown and call it a half?
I think that's the best route. You throw it, your chance of it getting picked off.
Bomb it down the south sidelines to Gabriel Manning? No? All right, just a handoff to Brown it is. That'll keep the clock rolling and bring us to halftime. So started off as all Carolina, and since then it's been all Tulsa in this one. 17-7, Tulsa leading at the half. We will take a short break, send it to SFL headquarters for the halftime show. After this, you're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music.
Welcome to the APM Music Halftime Report along with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine. It is halftime, and it is 17-7. The Tulsa Desperados lead the Carolina Skyhawks at the break. And as Gerald Smith pointed out from our broadcast team, 24 yards of offense in the second quarter for Carolina as Tulsa's defensive line took over in that second frame, Mike.
Yeah, at the start of the game, it looked like that Carolina offense was off and running. Hattori Hanzo with a nice touchdown run to cap off of a long drive to start the game. But then after that, it's been all Tulsa Desperados. The defense has really stepped up. We saw Skinny Washington with an interception. The rookie's really been playing great. And then Gabriel Manning, we were talking about, kind of jokingly saying Gabriel Manning has become a possession receiver in his old age. And then he breaks off a nice long touchdown catch to get Tulsa on the board. And a great defensive line. They've done a great job. Jaden Swift with a sack and in that late in the second quarter. And also David Ware with another sack to end that last drive for the Skyhawks.
Yeah, add linebacker. Nicely done from all of Tulsa's defense. Skinny Washington with the pick. We highlighted him just a little bit in pregame, and he's got his second of his young rookie season. Well, before we get going too much on Week 8, we have playoff standings from as of week number 7 here, Mike, and it's been an exciting first half of the season. Here's how the SFL playoffs work. The top 4 teams get a first-round bye. The division leaders or division winners are guaranteed a playoff spot, not a home game, not a top 4 spot, but a playoff spot. There are 7 divisions in the SFL. You can see them identified there. So with all that being said, London and Baltimore, you're 1-2 unbeaten. London the surprise of the group as Baltimore's your back-to-back champions. Mexico City and DC rolling at 5-1. DC a wild card playing in the Atlantic with Baltimore. Then you've got the West leading Vegas Fury as of last night. We'll get to that in a minute. Tulsa leading the Central, Vancouver leading the Pacific, Florida leading the East, and then Arizona, and then the rest of the South. Houston, Lone Star, and Fort Worth all into the top 12. And that wraps up how the first half of the season went, Mike. And what are your general impressions about where we sit heading into as we progress through Week 8?
Yeah, and when we're starting to, the season is starting to take shape. Serious playoff tenders are starting to let themselves be known, and I'll just take issue with London being a surprise. I really expected them to have a solid season this season. I don't know if I expected them to be undefeated at this point. They're 7-0 now after last night, and basically essentially clinching a playoff berth with that 7th win. We know what that means in this league. That typically means that you're in. So not so much of a surprise for me that they are in the position they're in, maybe undefeated. Probably didn't expect that at this point, particularly after playing Vancouver last night. I kind of expected the Legion to win that game at home, but it's shaping up pretty nicely. And what I'm standing out to me the most, just to see the bottom of that playoff ledger right now, is Houston, Lone Star, Fort Worth, Mexico City, all from the South Division, are in the playoff picture right now as we speak.
Fort Worth coming into the week actually a strength of victory of 500. That was best in the SFL amongst their 3 victories. So Fort Worth is heading up the standings, as is Mexico City, as is London. That is all about what we have going on in our Friday highlight reels, the best of Friday night. But before we get there, how about the outside looking in? Sioux Falls, Atlanta, Minnesota, Carolina. They're all 3-3. There you see your playoff tiebreakers on the screen. It's all a convoluted mess. We all know that anytime you get down to tiebreaker season. But, these are some really good teams at 500 on the outside looking in too, Mike. And we know that there's going to be 6-6 teams that miss the playoffs, just like last season where none of them made it. And who knows? There may be some 7-5s that are in trouble too, depending upon how it all shakes out this season.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Like I said, essentially that 7-5 may have gotten London in possibly, but mainly as a division winner. They have really set themselves up nicely. But these teams that we see right there on the outside looking in, Sioux Falls, they're in a battle with Baltimore right now, and obviously Carolina's in a battle that we're witnessing right here with Tulsa. It's very important to get on that, better than 500 side of the ledger. We know that. Going down the stretch, we see Minnesota, they kind of went on the slide here the past couple of weeks after starting off so great. And Atlanta, they've been kind of up and down. So, but that's where typically lands you right here on this bubble and on the outside looking in, when you kind of up and down, still trying to find your way around the league. And then you end up right here, fighting for a playoff spot in week 14.
Carolina's strength of victory is the worst of the 3-3 tied teams, 7 of them. So they'd really like this win over Tulsa. A win over a team that's above 500 could be pretty great for them. All right, the best of Friday night, and boy, Mike St. Green, it was a good Friday, and let's get to some top matchups in the league. Unbeaten London at Vancouver, up 7-0 in the first already. A fast start for the Knights. Fox Highwind had himself a career night from Johnny Pickler, and it was 14-0 just like that for London. Next drive for Vancouver, it is Chris Curtis breaking a tackle and off to the races. He was outstanding last night. Also a career day for him, over 150 and a touchdown. And that got Vancouver back into it, 14-7. Moving on, London back with the ball, tied at 14 in the second quarter. Pickler, a wobbler, but somehow manages to get it out there. And who is it again, Mike? It's Fox Highwind planting the sword. There would be more of that out of Fox later. 21-17. I told you there'd be more. Fox Highwind again, and London is up 10 now, Mike.
Yeah, Fox Highwind has actually done a fantastic job this season for London, becoming basically Johnny Pickler's go-to guy over there. I mean, he's accustomed to being a number one receiver, coming over back over to London after being in Mexico City, I think a season or two. And he stepped right up and kind of taking that number one gauntlet away from Vin Callier right now.
3 touchdowns for Fox Highwind. Christian Brown right back to Brett Killian. Vancouver was chasing London's tail all game. Now it's 28-24. London would not be done. First, Robert Merrill's sighting of the highlight reel. He walks in untouched. That offensive line, and Tiberius Bovine at fullback knows what he's doing. 35-24. Back comes Vancouver. They're 4-2 for a reason. BK 12 with his second touchdown of the night. 35-30. It's a 5-point game.
Yeah, great pass and catch right there from Christian Brown to Brett Killian to get Vancouver closer in this game to try to pull it out at the end.
Vancouver will go for 2, but before that, another look at this one as Killian gets the better of Blackman. Blackman had a key interception in the end zone late in that game that helped London keep Vancouver behind them. 2-point conversion for Vancouver. They run it to Robert Redford. He is stuffed by Cam Frosby, who leads the league in sacks. He had 3 of them in this game, and London stays undefeated 35-30. Up to Vegas. Pick it up in the second quarter, 7-0, and Phoenix Jones has his 15th rushing touchdown of the season, and we're all tied at 7 after a long Mason Kirby bomb. 5 minutes later, Joseph Green outside. That's not good. And a huge credit to John Blades right here, saving the touchdown and tracking down Gerard Brody. Vegas's red zone offense was the key in this one. 1 minute later, Vegas has the ball back, and Jermaine Menafield has the interception, and he is gone. 14-7. Mexico City takes the lead.
And Cam, I'm really trying to find a weakness in this Mexico City Aztec team. Great running game, as you mentioned, 15 rushing touchdowns for Phoenix Jones. In this defense, they're just ball hawks. They are accustomed to taking the ball away all game long.
Vegas fights right back, 14-all. Now in the third quarter, Matt Wilson to Mike Daggs. It never gets old. 20-14, Mexico City takes the lead. Still in the third quarter, play action, Matt Wilson. Nick Lockett, his 5th touchdown of the season, his 3rd in the last 2 games, and his 5 is a new career high, Mike.
Yeah, Nick Lockett, he's been amazing over these past couple of weeks, and he's just another added weapon to what these Aztecs like to do.
So 28-14, we mentioned it. Here we go, 4th and goal at the 1. 4.5 to go in the fourth quarter. And upon review in postgame, Mike, this was actually a touchdown. The refs blew the call, but tackled at the goal line is the ruling. Jermaine Menafield on the tackle Doug Britton appeared to have possession with the ball across the plane, but that doesn't matter because Joseph Green then throws an interception to Jermaine Menafield. Another one-handed interception. It was Dexter Jackson last week. Mike St. Green, and Menafield gets this one tonight.
Yeah, as I mentioned, man, these guys are ball hawks. They know how to go after the ball when it's in the air. Another big turnover, and Mexico City comes away with the victory.
Canton and Portland, we picked this up in the second quarter. Canton up 10-7. Ezekiel Love takes the swing, but he would leave the game due to injury with Portland up 17-13. Cameron Curtis gets it to Kendra Hall, and she flexes in the back of the end zone, 20-17. In the fourth, look at this blocking, Mike. The backup with Ezekiel Love out. When do you ever see that? A touchdown for Portland on the ground with their second stringer out there. Lonnie Wright with the touchdown gives Portland the lead.
Yeah, at this point, you're probably thinking that, hey, Portland's going to pull this off with Ezekiel Love, in the locker room injured. Great run here, great blocking by the offensive line and the receivers. Total team effort there and put Portland up early in the fourth quarter.
Benjamin Warner with that key block on the outside, but the fourth quarter belonged to Canton. Cameron Curtis, a perfect strike to Mike Twinscrew, puts the Classics up, and then Leo Morris on the ensuing kickoff return fumble the football. Oh, you hate to see that. And Canton would end up holding on 30-24, but this was a crucial mistake. Portland was also down Mel Davis in this game, Mike. They were just limping to the finish line.
Yeah, there are a couple of injuries in this game, hurt them, but then a couple of turnovers late didn't help. Well, actually, that turnover led to that Twinscrew touchdown, and then ensuing kickoff, we saw this fumble right here.
Canton would tack on a field goal late in the game. Cyrus Jive trying to make something happen, and the ball is picked off by former Portland Fleet member Bob Funk. He had 2 picks on the day against his former team, and the Canton Classics have won 3 in a row. Portland drops to 2-5, but are playing much better football. They will take on the Los Angeles Lycans next week on Next Level Sports. Louisiana and Fort Worth pick it up at the second quarter, 10-7 Fort Worth. And Aaron Alexander, for the first time in 2.5 years, Mike, he gets a touchdown. His first career touchdown. I think it's 2.5 seasons. I'm just exaggerating for dramatic effect. Fourth quarter now. This is when the game starts to turn Louisiana's favor. Blake B. Crazed as a linebacker track a football in the air better than that man. Gets the interception with Louisiana down 10. But the Revolution never gave up in this one, Mike.
Yeah, Cam, if there's a better 2-win team in this league, I don't know who they are. Then they deserve fate better than what they've been getting so far. Blake B. Crazed with a big interception. His defense always plays great. Tough team to go up against. And then they end up with a touchdown here by Squarebush to get them back in the ballgame.
That was after a Rego De Niro touchdown was overturned by a challenge, but it doesn't matter. 27-24, 3:48 to go. Fort Worth would tick away some clock. Flip out to Jason Williams, gets out of bounds, gets into field goal range. Enough for Amelia Rose to come out and try to make this a 6-point game about 1 minute and 40 seconds later, but it's Tank Bennett coming in unblocked, and the ball hits him in the head. Bennett gets the block, and Louisiana has life. And like I said, Louisiana, no quit in them at 2-4, trying to reverse their fortunes this season. Tommy Utah, what are you going to do about it? Deep shot, and see you later. John Michael Suddeth, the former Vulture who just put on that ring he got from last season, gets a bomb into field goal range. They bring on Otis Boudreau with 30 seconds left to tie the ball game. The snap wasn't that great either, but Mike, the Louisiana Revolution tie it up.
Yeah, at this point, you're thinking, great comeback Louisiana, and they are going to have a chance to possibly pull this game out.
Dunhill down the field, trying to get into field goal range. Fort Worth burns a timeout, gets the ball to the 49. Marcus Dunhill in this game, Mike, 35 of 40. He has really come on in the last 2 weeks, fires another pass, caught to the 37-yard line, and this set up Amelia Rose for redemption from 54 yards.
Yeah, that man Marcus Dunhill, you mentioned him. He's done great over the past couple of weeks since they come out of the bye. And then Amelia Rose with a long 54-yarder. I was watching this game live, Cam. I didn't think she was going to make it, but man, she nailed it. She probably could hit that from 60.
I got to hear that call again from Nate Hall on play-by-play. Check this out.
Second-year kicker for Fort Worth, 54 yards out to try to send Fort Worth to 4-3 on the season. Another problem snap, but it's up. It's off. on the way, and it's gone!
Wow.
Fort Worth has won the game and beat Louisiana.
Gotta love that, as Nate Hall and Alden Bleeker were on that call, and Fort Worth gets the win 30-27. It was a fun night of football, Mike.
Oh yeah, it was a great night. All the games were basically decided by 1 point or less. I mean, one score or less. I'm sorry, other than the Mexico City game. It was an exciting night. I was really on the edge of my couch all night watching this action, and it was great stuff to see.
Quick run through the polls here this week. Baltimore in the team rating poll, the ELO poll, takes the first spot. That's no surprise. London 2, Mexico City 3. That seems to be the consensus here. Vancouver in that 2-4 game last night, lost that one. Vegas in that 3-7 game, lost that one. We'll see DC tomorrow on Next Level Sports taking on Indianapolis there in the team rating poll. Media poll this week, 9 first-place votes split. Mexico City getting their first place vote. Your same top 7, although Arizona slips in there at number 5. Media high on the Scorpions. They will take on Lone Star this evening. Houston, Vancouver rounds out the top 7 there. Fort Worth creeping into that top 14 slowly at number 13. And then the coaches poll, where do they value things? Well, they say Baltimore is number 1, and there's no doubt about it. 15 participate. All 15 give it to Baltimore. Tulsa coming in at 9 there in that coaches poll. But Mike, what stands out to you from those polls this week?
In all the polls, what stands out is the Vancouver Legion, especially after last night. I know these polls came out before the games last night, but now after seeing this game, and of course they haven't lost any game, I think by more than 6 or 7 points all season long. But now my question is, who are they really? Are they the 4-3 team that we see? That's lost a couple of close games to really tough opponents because their opponents combined have only lost 1 game that they've lost to. So are they 4-3 with just a couple of tough losses? Are they going to come back second half of the season, play a couple of division games, and get back to the Vancouver that we're accustomed to seeing? Or are they may falter a little bit this season? It remains to be seen.
In our bonus coverage game right now, Baltimore leads Sioux Falls 14-7. That game is coming down to the end of the first half. Sioux Falls is hanging around, but Baltimore's defense giving the Desperados offense fits, Mike. And I think me and you are both in the studios kind of sitting here going, Baltimore's a 14.5-point favorite. We're not really going to get on upset watch until things get intense down the stretch, because we just know what Baltimore can do.
Yeah, we know what Baltimore, they can do. We know who they are, and they're going up. Well, got picked off right then.
It's going the other way. Sioux Falls is just about to tie this game, shut us all up.
It looks like Sioux Falls are going to tie it up, going into late into the second quarter. Going into the half. But it's Baltimore. But Sioux Falls, they're great. They're a great organization. They're a great team. They've struggled a little bit over the past couple of seasons, but they're always solid. They can always keep themselves in games. And here we are seeing them giving the defending champs all they can handle right now.
Terrell Davis with a pick 6, so extra point pending. Sioux Falls is going to tie that game going into the break. We'll have live look-ins on that game throughout the second half. So back to Carolina, Tulsa. Tulsa leads Carolina 17-7. Mike Daggs and Matt Matt Wilson. I miss you, Matt. That's just muscle memory right there. Mike Daggs and Gerald Smith have your second half coming at you after this commercial break. Tulsa leads by 10. Mike and I are here to wrap up in postgame. This has been your APM Music Halftime Report, and we'll be right back on Next Level Sports.
And welcome back to Lucy Red Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You can visit Lucy Red Energy Drink at lucyred.com and see why the energy is amazing. The energy here in Tulsa is amazing right now as the Desperados lead 17-7 over the Skyhawks, and they get the football back. Gabriel Manning on the return. I'm Mike Daggs. He's Gerald Smith. Jay Hayden, Eddie Gage with us on stats. Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green back in SFL studios with a great halftime report. Gerald, it was an exciting first half. Looked like it might be all Carolina after that methodical drive, but then all Tulsa.
Yeah, I think Carolina might want to grab some of that nice energy drink. Lucy Red.
Lucy Red. They could probably use it. They pass to the fullback to get the first half started. Second half started. Gain of 1 on the play. JQ, 12 of 15, 129 yards and 2 touchdown passes. Quarterback rating in the high triple digits so far in this one. Leading receiver Gabriel Manning has 80 yards on the day. 3 wide receiver set on second down. Ball is handed off to Douglas Brown. Brown stuffed at the line. No gain on the play. His 9th carry of the ball game. He's got 57 yards, Gerald, but most of them came from the one long 50-yard run.
Yeah, and this is a good start for Carolina. Maybe they did drink their Lucy Red because they got Tulsa in a 3rd and long right here, which is where how Carolina needs to start. If they get a big stop here, it's going to go a long way for them to get back in this game.
We'll see what they can do on 3rd down and 9. Stepping up, throwing on the run, swatted down. Lucy Red powers through for the Skyhawks. Clint Hendershot swatting it down. 3 and out for the Desperados to start the second half.
Yeah, Mr. Hendershot got his mitts on one right there. That Lucy Red got him quite alert. So I think this is going to bode well for Carolina here, especially if they can get this ball back and they can drive down and get some points.
2 pass deflections for Clint Hendershot. 2 assisted tackles as well. You know, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, Gerald. Tulsa last week against the Minnesota Legend absolutely piled on points in the second half of action. They were losing, actually, heading into halftime of that game. They were down 21-10 and then scored 24 unanswered points to win 34-21, blanking Minnesota in the second half. So see if the Tulsa defense can do the same and hold Carolina to 0 points, or can Carolina get things turned around now? Matt South back out on the field, 13-19, 117 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. In the first half, the running game just could not get going in half number 1. Able to get 4 yards to start half number 2 for the Skyhawks. It's Hattori Hanzo.
And that's a pretty good run on first down for them, right? But if you keep if anyone watching, or even you, Mike, if you look at these linebackers when they run, they are keying in on those 2 guys in the backfield there every play.
Ball is handed off to Pseudo Nakai. He's able to get one of his longest runs of the ball game. He did have a long of 11 in the first half, Gerald, but that was definitely the second longest. He has not been able to get a lot of big chunks quite yet.
Yeah, maybe look, and they're in 3rd and short right here. If they can pick this, I think somehow pick this up. It's going to do good things for them. I think it's going to be a swing route here.
And it is indeed, but not going to be able to get to the line to gain. Well defended by Cameron Shaw. Nakai tackled for a loss. 4th down and 2, and they'll have to punt it right back.
The way they ran on 1st and 2nd down on that one, I would like to see him run it again, give it to one of those, those guys who run right to him. Oh.
Well, keeping the offense out on the field.
I actually like this.
I'll like it if they actually snap it. Hard count and burning a timeout this early in the second half would be painful, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do. South, it burns that timeout. Gerald, if you're going to go for it, if you're going to, I don't know, 4th and 2, midfield, just snap the ball. See what you could do. You're down 2 scores. Now you're down a timeout with most of the second half left.
I was literally mouthing, do it, do it, do it.
Well, they couldn't see you from up here, so, or they didn't care. But they didn't snap it. So Malone Brown out to punt. Ugh, I don't know. I think they should have snapped it.
I agree, especially the way they did. I mean, you have to start. I know it's relatively early in the third quarter, but God, you're gonna have to start taking chances. The offense really hadn't done anything for well over a quarter.
And his momentum carries him back into the end zone for a touchback. So both teams 3 and out to start the second half. We'll see if Tulsa can get something better going on this drive.
Yeah, and look, and Carolina just needs to do what they did that their last, Tulsa's last drive on defense, right? Put the pressure on them, put them in a 3rd and long situation, and then put pressure on the quarterback.
Douglas Brown takes the handoff up the middle for 3. We've got an update from Baltimore. Cameron Irvine back in SFL studios.
Thank you, Mike. Baltimore starts the third quarter off strong.
Yeah, Jack Whitmore swings it out to Warren Murray, and it has a nice spin move, takes it into the end zone. 7:57 left in the third quarter. Baltimore up 21-14.
Mike Daggs, Gerald Smith at Lucy Red Stadium.
Thank you, Cam.
Whoa!
Just in time for
Are
a
you
huge
kidding
Douglas
me?
Brown run. Spins 3 times past every defender and all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. Tulsa is piling on the points.
The moves Douglas Brown made on that run was nothing short of amazing. He juked. He did spin moves. Anything he can do to get out of it. There's a spin. There's a juke. There's a broken. There's another spin, and he's gone. Wow.
Douglas Brown had a 50-yard rush earlier on in the ball game and decided that was not long enough. 77 yards to the house puts him into triple-digit territory with 137 yards, a rushing touchdown. He's got a receiving touchdown. Douglas Brown putting the team on his back, and they're just running away with it now.
He did more in one run than what he did all game with them moves, man. It was amazing. It was great to watch.
Extra point is up by Brooke Beisel, and it is good. 24-7. Tulsa out in front. The SFL Weekly Fantasy Contest is officially up and running. Think you could draft the best team every week while staying under the salary cap? Or maybe you just want to enhance your SFL experience. Free to play, no season-long commitment, and a new contest opens every week on Tuesday night. Join now and show off your fantasy skills to the rest of the league. Contact Jack Wall, Stephen Hacker, or Hunter Norwood to join today. Tony Zoma from the goal line. Turning it up to the 25 and punishing hit on that one. Gerald, they're down 3 scores now.
Yeah, they got their work cut out for them. I don't think the run game is going to do much for them at this point. They're gonna have to rely on Matt South in the passing game.
32 yards is all the run game has mustered for them between Nikai and Hanzo. Matt South goes to the air and almost goes right into the hands of the defender. I think Heslop getting his hands on the ball.
Was it just me or the Carolina receiver was not? It didn't even look like he was anywhere near where the ball was there.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just underthrown or if Heslop just made a really great play to get in front of it. But yeah, that one was not anywhere near Prasad. I believe Harish Prasad was the intended target. You can see 2 receptions on 7 targets now, and that pass goes for no gain as well. So just like that, Gerald, we're back at a 3rd down and a long 10.
And it really looks like this game that, you know, statistically speaking, Carolina has had the best overall defense, but it seemed like it's flipped this game, right? That it's just flipped one after the other, where Carolina's actually taken the Tulsa role from a defense perspective.
South over the middle into
that's
coverage, and that one is complete. Oh, they desperately needed that one, and they got it. Pass hauled in by Avalos.
Yeah, and look, and Avalos hasn't been, overly active, right? That was only his third target on the day, right? And maybe they need to start looking, right, to some of their, third wideouts and stuff like that, because their number one and number two corners are holding, Zoma and Harish into relatively low production.
23 yards over the middle to move the chains on a 3rd down and 10. 1st and 10 now from their own 48. South throwing off his back foot. Oh, ill-advised throw goes right into the hands of Lee Palmer, one of the backup corners. And good thing he's a backup corner. That one falls to the turf, and they get another shot at it. But Gerald, he should have never thrown that one.
Well, if Matt South is gonna try and get out of the pocket, running straight back isn't the way to do it, right? And then just turn around and just chucking it. That wasn't good at all. But he had to throw. If he's gonna throw it, he had to throw it in the middle, because it would have been a penalty, because he didn't get to outside the tackle box to throw it away.
Harish Prasad with his 3rd catch on the ball game now, at least somewhat fixing the ratio of intended targets to receptions. Gets 5 on 2nd down and 10. It'll be a 3rd down and 5 now. They converted the 3rd and long a few snaps ago.
It's a perfect situation to hit like a Prasad over the middle or Avalos over the middle here.
South going to go up top instead. A deep out route is exactly what they needed.
Or some on the end.
Way up 17 yards up to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, he had the protection that time, right? So they gave him the protection he needed for Zoma to get open on that deep out.
Zoma on the sidelines now on 1st down, as they'll go 4 wide. You would think Zoma would be out there for that. South, short pass over the middle, complete. Good. Well, they're going to spot him all the way up for a 10-yard gain, Gerald. Give him the 1st down.
Yeah. It's almost like, I don't know why they don't do that. R62 doesn't give him a spot like that on the goal line for a touchdown, but, giving away yardage in this situation.
That'll just burn you forever when it says goal line and it's not actually into the end zone. Travis Warren with the reception on that previous pass. Quick dump down up the right side. Oh, look at those moves. Couple of nice spins, gets him 7 yards. Pseudo Nakai with the reception.
I don't know if it's just me, man, but when somebody like a name like Pseudo Nakai does the spin move, I get to him saying Pseudo.
You think that's what every time you think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think he just says it.
Does a spin and calls out his first name. I'm not sure what makes you think that, but I'm not sure I don't even know what you're talking about. 3rd down and inches. Philadelphia Collins in with another stop, and it's a big moment for the Tulsa defense to try to step up now and put an end to this drive. This drive looks very reminiscent, Gerald, of their opening drive of the ball game, methodically moving down the field. We'll see if they can keep this one going. 9 plays, 63 yards. So far gets it out to Nakai. Oh, and it's stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Knocked down by Cameron Shaw. And, I guess they'll probably just want to at least get some points on this drive, Gerald. I think we'll see see Whistle Jones out on the field.
Yeah, but I would have went for it here, right? Because this is you haven't been down here very often all game, and for you to only come up with 3, it just doesn't. The way the game flow has been going, how many times are you going to get down here, right?
Yeah, I agree, but it turns a 3-score game into a 2-score game. So I think it's been a while since since the opening possession of the ball game since they've had points. So I think it may have been time to just get something on the board and try to cut into this deficit just a little bit. You can visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for info about the league and its 28 teams, all the places you can watch live games, plus links to apparel from Sector 6 and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. You can see all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, and the rankings of the next class of SFL talent, and so much more. Simulationfl.net, your home for everything SFL. And Gerald, I got to tell you, 97 Sports Promotions, I just ordered on Wednesday. I ordered a, was it even what? Yeah, no, it was Thursday. On Thursday morning, I ordered a Mexico City Aztecs helmet from 97 Sports Promotions. It was delivered today. I mean, that is fast. They made it, shipped it, and I got it in 2 days. 97 Sports Promotions. Quality helmet, too. I love it.
It is, and go ahead.
Gets it out to Douglas Brown for a gain of 2.
Yeah, and one of the best things about 98 Sports Promotions as well, they are 97 Sports Promotions, is that they offer so many different variants of helmets as well. So different logos, different colors, everything else like that. Good stuff, quality product, fast shipping, like you said, for a really, really good price.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 wide receiver look on second down. JQ having an efficient day. He's going to hand it off to Douglas Brown. Brown's not having an efficient day. He's having a fantastic day. 137 yards is going to add on to that total a little bit there. 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, it's going to, bring down its average a little bit, but this is what Carolina needs right here in this situation. A 3rd and relatively long, and see if that defense can come up pretty big right here.
Hugh to throw. Out route up top. And he gets the 1st down. Oh, I thought he was going to get tackled short and Carolina was going to get it back, Gerald, but able to lean in. Jim Copeland Jr., the tight end, finally getting in on the action. It's been just DJ Hume and Gabriel Manning all game long, Gerald, and finally somebody else gets involved and he makes a big play.
Yeah, the big tight end and able to muscle through that cornerback from Davison Joseph and get the 1st down and reset them.
Hugh to Brown. Brown trying to bust out that spin move again. It did not work quite as well that time as he's brought down by Lincoln Kingseed.
Yeah, and it's a very productive 1st down play for Tulsa right there. You get half the yardage you needed for a 1st down, which sets them up great for 2nd and 3rd down.
2nd down and 5. Ball is handed off to Brown. Breaking through the 1st tackle, cannot break through the 2nd one, but he's happy with what he just pulled off as he gets another 1st down inside Carolina territory.
Yeah, it's starting to seem like Douglas Brown is starting to take over the game. It seems like exactly what Cam and maybe Mike talked about in the pregame there, that when the 2nd half kicks in, that's when Douglas Brown tends to get fired up and the motor gets running, maybe the blood gets pumping, or he has a couple of more juicy reds and he's good to go.
I think it's a Lucy red.
Lucy red, man.
Maybe it tastes juicy. Douglas Brown. I don't know. Now I'm intrigued. I'm gonna have to go to the website and get one. I think 2nd down and 9. Short carry on that play. Clint Hendershot giving him a shot. 37 seconds to go here in quarter number 3. I formation on 2nd down and 9. Hugh to throw down the right sideline. Wide open all the way to the 1-yard line. Corey Jones getting his 1st catch of the ball game, and that couldn't have come with a bigger play, almost getting a touchdown. 46 yards.
And 2nd down has been a pretty good, productive down for Tulsa all game long. Seems like they get some of their biggest and best plays on 2nd down, whether it's 2nd and long, 2nd and medium, 2nd and short, right? They seem to be, they just pull out the right plays on 2nd down, be able to get these chunk yardage, big plays, and all that stuff, and now they're fixing to score.
3 quarters in the books, 11 minutes remains here in Tulsa. Desperados are out in front 24-10 over the visiting Carolina Skyhawks. You are watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Welcome back to Lucy Red Stadium in Tulsa, Oklahoma. First down and goal from the 1. Douglas Brown takes the handoff, tackled for a loss. Loses 3 on the play. Second down and goal from the 4.
Yeah, and if Carolina can hold them to a field goal here, it'll be a win for them. Them getting down here and them having maybe, 3 chances down here to score, and they hold them to a field goal. That'd be great.
Brown spin, holds the ball. Forget holding him to a field goal. Big man running back the other direction. Not for very much, but Carolina's going to take over after recovering that fumble. We'll see what the penalty is. It looked like it was after the, it's going to be a flipping, block in the back on Carolina, but that would be after the fumble was recovered. So it'll be half the distance to the goal. Bobo Caudill called for the illegal block, but Carolina will still take over possession of the football. It looks like from their own 4-yard line.
And I don't know if the yardage is huge, but it's really, really huge for Carolina to not allow any points there. That was about the best result they could get out of that particular situation.
Oh, by all means, yeah. The only thing that would have been better is if they were able to keep on running, but that was a defensive tackle that had that ball. Out route up top is good for a gain of 6. We've got an update from Baltimore. Cameron Irvine back in SFL Studios.
Thank you, Mike Daggs. Baltimore pulling away. Mike St. Green, the red zone turnovers killing them.
Yeah, turnovers are killing the Sparrows right now. And Matt Chino on his second touchdown catch up today. Baltimore up 28-14.
Sioux Falls does have the ball back. Back to Mike Daggs and Gerald Smith in Tulsa.
Thank you, Cam. Baltimore doing Baltimore things. Pseudo Nakai getting a nice reception and yards after catch there, Gerald.
Yeah, and those first 2 plays on this drive were perfect. They started out with about a 5 or 6 yard out route to get them, a little bit out of their own shadow of their own end zone, and then being able to dump it off like that to get you a little bit more room. So that's a perfect 2 plays for them to get them where they are.
David Ware in on the tackle. First down and 10. Nakai trying to get some yards added onto his totals.
Great blocking.
And he's going to do it right there. As he's going to get all the way up to midfield, right on cue. not to be confused with JQ. Pseudo Nakai rushing all the way up to the 49-yard line, a 26-yard gain.
And, the way to utilize these two backs that they have, so they're still fresh, right? Just late in the game, they're still fresh. They're able to do things like this whenever the defense starts getting tired. So if they can keep getting chuck yardage and runs like that, I think they can, it looks like they might be able to close this gap, but hope's not lost.
The receivers on the field. South back to pass. Goes over the middle. Has his man up at the 30-yard line. Once again, another first down. Yeah, Gerald, absolutely. I mean, Tulsa was about to go back up 3 scores. Field goal, touchdown, or otherwise, they were about to go back up 3 scores. So forcing that fumble, getting the recovery, if they're able to go down the field and get a touchdown here, suddenly what was looking like a lopsided game that Tulsa might run away with could all of a sudden become a 1-score ball game again. We'll see what happens as this drive continues. South in the gun. Pumps over the middle into traffic. Caught up to the 19-yard line. Gain of 11 will give them a first down and 10 inside the red zone. Tony Zoma with the catch.
Right. I think Matos may have held on to the ball a little bit too long, right, to have that kind of almost a contested catch there. But, hey, Tony Zoma was able to come down with it. And then they keep getting chunk yardage. Every play is nearly a first down.
Pseudo Nakai takes the handoff. He's going to lose some yards on that one. Loss of 4 on the play. 2nd and 14. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life. Inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. 6 on the line for the Desperados. They'll hand the ball off to Hanzo. And he's able to gain 5 on the play. We'll set them up with a 3rd and 9.
No, it gets them at a 3rd and 9. I think it's a pretty productive play from a yardage standpoint. If it was actually 2nd and 10, but it was 2nd and 14. I can't say I like that play call in that situation, but they still have an opportunity to get this first.
Yeah, and if they don't, I would even think they might want to go for it, but we'll see. Short out route. Can he get upfield? Oh, he does! Wow! I thought he was going out of bounds for sure. Avalis with the catch, the turn, and then just absolutely trucks Cameron Shaw into another dimension to get that first down.
That was impressive. He knew where he was, and he knew he had to go through the defender to get it, and he made it happen.
He sure did. He's like, oh, I'm short of the stick. I'm sorry, Shaw. We're going for a ride. 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. South up top. Complete.
There you go.
Touchdown, Skyhawks. Gerald, just like that, it went from being what we thought would be a 3-score game to a 1-score game. 24-16 with the extra point pending.
Right, and they took that thing 96 yards.
They sure did.
In 9 plays. And that it's to me it was amazing. 3 run plays, 6 pass plays, all of them completed. Right? And it didn't take them too much longer. It only took about 4 minutes off the clock for them to do it. So, and they're in a situation they can kick it down. They have all their well, they don't have all their timeouts, but
no, they don't.
but they're in a situation, right? If their defense can, hold Tulsa, they should be, they're in good shape to tie it.
We got a great ball game brewing here in Tulsa. It's going to be an exciting finish. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Lucy Red Stadium here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm Mike Daggs. He's Gerald Smith, Jay Hayden, Eddie Gage. With us on stats, Cameron Irvine, Mike St. Green back in SFL studios. Gabriel Manning tackled at the 20-yard line. JQ, 17 to 21, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns. Look at that QBR, Gerald. He's had a very efficient game, 81% completion percentage, and he sees Carolina making a comeback into this one. We'll see what he does on this drive. 2 wide receivers out to the left. And he'll go right to the air. Oh, deep down the right side. There's the left sideline. And a very costly mistake.
He's gone.
It's going to be a
Oh, my God.
pick. It's 1 point away from being a tie ball game. Pick 6 by the Skyhawk defense. Davidson Joseph with the touchdown.
And I do believe Davidson Joseph was also the same guy who calls that fumble early on down near the goal line there, and he comes out and makes a huge play right here, picks it off, and he gets a great block from Clinton Hendershot to let him walk into the end zone.
Davidson Joseph with his 24th career interception, his second pick 6 on his career. And Gerald, if he was the one that forced that fumble and just got a pick 6 to tie the ball game, player of the game right there. If Carolina can actually come away with the win. 6 minutes, 21 seconds to go. And Whistle Jones kicks it up, and it is good. 24 to 24. I know I just mentioned it, but I mean, we were yards away from a 3-score ball game, and not even 2 minutes later in regulation, it's tied.
We were 4 yards from this being a 3-score game, whether it was a touchdown or a field goal. 3 yards. And it's been 14 unanswered points.
Jay Hayden on stats letting us know that that was Kane Vasquez that caused the fumble, but hey, teamwork then. Kane Vasquez with the forced fumble. And Davidson Joseph with a very timely pick 6, 24-24. So right after we sang JQ's praises, 17 to 22 now, 193 yards. That QBR has taken a bit of a dip, 114.4 with the interception. And now I think we might see a little bit more Douglas Brown instead of deep passes down the left side. No, well, okay, we'll see a short pass instead, getting it out to Douglas Brown. Gains a couple on the play, 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, and I was thinking too before that last drive, just thinking that Douglas Brown is kind of what has been the Tulsa offense, during this whole second half, and I just didn't understand why you come out first down throwing the ball, right? But maybe they feel like they needed to, prove something. But shoot, give it off to Douglas Brown and let him do his thing.
Yeah, Douglas Brown able to get a few more there. 3rd down and 4. This is a big 3rd down for both of these teams, Gerald. I mean, Tulsa wanting to reclaim their lead on this drive. Carolina, they haven't had a lead since their first score. They want to get that back.
Look, and Tulsa hasn't been great on 3rd down.
Ball is handed off to Douglas Brown. He's going to get this one. Gets the first and 5 yards more all the way up to their own 40-yard line. The clock will continue to roll with 5 minutes to go. You see the comparison to these two teams, Gerald.
Right, and look, and in this 4th quarter thus far, Tulsa has 13 total yards compared to Carolina's 99 total yards just in this quarter. So it tells you that Carolina has really stepped up and tightened up their defense somewhat.
Douglas Brown gets this reception and not able to get anything going there, but the rushing yards was the big difference I saw on that comparison, Gerald. The Desperados have been tearing it up on the ground with Douglas Brown, 164 yards on 18 carries. He's also got another 38 yards receiving on 9 receptions. So would expect to see them try to put the game on his shoulders now as this clock continues to roll. And they'll go back up to him on this one, see how many yards he can get. Yeah, able to spin past one tackle and get 6 to set him up with a 3rd down and 4.
Right, and it's similar to what they had just to pass time there. It was 3rd and 4. What they do, this drive has all been Douglas Brown. Are they gonna, do what they did on 3rd and 4 last time? Hit them with Douglas Brown right in the middle. It doesn't look like it. They look like they're gonna throw.
I'm gonna say no. They're probably not. It was gutsy to run on 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 5 last time. This time they're going to the skies. Q gets it out to Gabriel Manning, old reliable. He'll get the 1st down up to the 48-yard line in Carolina territory.
Yeah, and I think Tulsa's going about this pretty good. This little drive here, right? It looks like they're trying to use the clock up while also moving the ball down and get themselves in a situation the way Carolina doesn't have no time at all.
Manning with 84 yards now on 6 receptions. 1st down and 10 for the Desperados. We'll hand it off to Douglas Brown. Douglas Brown leveled. 1-yard loss on the play. Shervon Prasad with the TFL.
Yeah, I don't think Douglas Brown saw him coming around the corner. He thought he had green grass and just got hit pretty darn hard.
He sure did. Douglas Brown taking a breather on 2nd down and 11. 5 wide for the Desperados. Q in the gun. JQ fires over the middle, tipped. Oh, and nearly taken away. Tip drill was intended for Sanzo Robinson, but batted into the air, falls harmlessly to the turf. 3rd down and 11. Outside of field goal range, Gerald, and it's not really a situation that you would want to go for it if you don't get any yards here. So
this 3rd and long, I think favors Carolina in this situation here, and I didn't quite understand that play calling on 2nd down, but we'll see how this goes.
Q back to pass, pressure coming, sacked, dropped at the 44, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Flexing over JQ is Phil Hall, and rightfully so.
Oh, he swam him. He swam right over the head of that offensive lineman. Look at that. Oh.
He's like, I got business to attend to in the backfield. You're going to need to move. 4th down and 18. And Tulsa is going to punt this one away. Carolina with the game tied up. 2.5 minutes to go in the ball game. It's going to be an exciting finish in this one, Gerald. Tomorrow on Next Level Sports, Indianapolis, fresh off of its 63-10 dismantling of the V8s, takes talents to D.C. to take on the red-hot D.C. Dragons with live look-ins on Motor City and Los Angeles. Coverage continues in Week 9. I know I saw it with 2 division battles. Houston, Lone Star, and Portland, Los Angeles. For channel guide and more info about NXT, visit NLSE.com. Yeah, I had to look away from the read out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, they're going to block this, I bet. Yeah, that would have been the icing on the cake for Carolina. If they could have gotten a forced fumble, a pick 6, hey, let's just block a punt too. But no, they're going to take over at their own 23-yard line.
I would have lost my mind over here.
South throws. Oh, picked off and going back the other way. It's going to be another pick 6, but this time for the Desperados. Touchdown, Marco Swift, and the Desperados reclaim the lead on a pick 6 of their own.
And Matt South, he made a move. It looked like he kind of threw it on the run. He wasn't as accurate as he wanted to be, and it wasn't a good read there. But look, credit to them, right? The defensive line put a little bit of pressure on Matt South to be able to maybe have him move in the pocket and force that errant throw, and they're able to pick it off and go ahead by 6 now.
Second interception thrown by Matt South in the ball game. First taken away by Skinny Washington in the first half. Marco Swift getting that interception, taking it all the way back to the house. And with 2 minutes, 5 seconds to go, now Carolina's not looking to take the lead. They're going to be looking just to tie the game back up. Wow. How quickly things can change in the ball game, Gerald. We went from thinking it was going to be a 3-score game to suddenly it's a 1-score game. Now suddenly it's a tie game with Carolina about to try to retake the lead for the first time since the opening possession. And poof, Tulsa back out in front by 7.
Each of the last 2 touchdowns by each team has been a pick 6.
Quick return taken back up to the 28-yard line, and that will bring us to the 2-minute warning. Minute 59 to go in the ball game. Carolina in possession of the football, down by 1. We'll be back after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Lucy Red Stadium, Tulsa, Oklahoma. 2 minutes to go in the game. They're going to go back into the hurry-up, Gerald, as they need to get 72 yards for the touchdowns, 4-down territory the rest of the way.
Yeah, and they've shown they can get down there pretty fast.
And pass out to Hattori Hanzo is good for a gain of 6. And set up a 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, it's a manageable yardage here.
South throws for the first down, but it's incomplete. Was trying to hit his target, Mario Luigi, one of the backup receivers, and it's going to fall to the turf, Gerald. 4th and 4.
Yeah, it looked like one of the defenders may have gotten a hand on it, and it just threw concentration off from the wide receiver there. So this is it. This could be the game here.
It could be, especially with only 2 timeouts on their side for Carolina. They need to keep this drive going. South with 4 wide receivers. Short drop. Throws it out to Nakai. Nakai gets the first, barely. And they're going to go back into the hurry-up with 1:20 to go.
And I really do like this formation in. They have 4 wide receivers out there so they can maximize their passing routes.
South with another short drop. Quick pass out to the far left side. That's good for a 1st down.
Yeah, and go to one of your top receivers. That's Arish Prasad in that last one.
South taking his time snapping the ball. You don't have that sort of time, sir. Pump fakes, throws over the middle. That one's good for another 1st down. Now they're in Tulsa territory after a gain of 11.
And they're moving the ball quickly. They're getting 10-plus yards a piece here.
South to Nakai. Nakai only gets a couple, but his momentum will carry him out of bounds, and it will stop the clock. Coming up on the APM Music post-game update, Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green wrap up this clash between the Skyhawks and Desperados, plus first reactions to the Sioux Falls Baltimore final and preview tomorrow's Next Level Sports matchup, Indianapolis versus DC. It's all coming up on the post-game update.
And Carolina can't forget as well, that they have 2 timeouts that they can use. There's only 39 seconds left, so anything in the middle of the field, they either got to hurry up, depending on how far they're down the field, or call themselves a timeout.
South goes down to Nakai. Nakai spins his way up to the 35. 30 seconds to go now. 3rd down and 4. They need to hurry up. They still got some yards to carry. Pass over.
I call timeout here.
Yeah, there you go. Coach Smith up in the booth calling the timeout. 1st and 10 from the 26.
I would after that short gain there, man. I would have, because they were. I understand them not calling timeout right there after the short gain, right? Because you're so close, you can get your players back pretty quickly. Something further down the field that you got to travel down there. You want to be able to, use pretty good time management and call timeout at that point.
All the receiving options out there.
Free
play. And that one's going to be a very beneficial free play. They'll decline the penalty, but it'll stop the clock all for free for them. So
right, it's a bad move for Tulsa to be able to jump off sides there, because they get the yardage and they give Carolina basically a free timeout at that point. They sure
did. Yep, that's what that penalty did for the Skyhawks, is just gave them a free timeout. So, which is good, because as I whined about at the beginning of the second half, they burned one. And they trying to draw people off sides. So looks like it didn't come back to haunt them. Not quite yet anyway. South with 3 wide receivers. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Drops back, looks, fires up top. Oh, nearly picked off. Nate Heslop got his hands on the ball again, and it fell down to the turf. It'll be a 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, I think they really need to come out in the passing formations, that quads formation that they had in there earlier, just to spread out the defense to give the receivers more rooms to work.
3 to the right, 1 to the left. Tight end on the line. South looks, fires, end zone, touchdown Carolina! And we're a point away from tying this one back up.
Sam Avalos making another great play. Matt South holding. I thought he may have held on to the ball a little bit too long, but he waited for his guy to get open deep near the end zone and took the shot. And they are now 1 extra point away from tying this ball game up.
With 8 seconds to go in regulation, Gerald. But, listen, first we got to see this extra point from Whistle Jones, but I will just remind you and everybody else that the league's all-time best kick returner is on the other side of the field waiting for this kickoff. Extra point is up. It is good. And we are all tied up here in Tulsa, 31 apiece.
Oh, man, this game got really good in the last 8 minutes.
It sure did.
Of this quarter. And look,
Gabriel Manning's trying to pump the crowd right now, saying, let's make it real good. Let's make it real exciting. 8 seconds to go in regulation. Whistle Jones kicks this one away. Gabriel Manning takes it from the goal line. Manning getting up the left-hand side, trying to break a tackle, but brought down at the 30-yard line. 2 seconds to go. Oh, I thought he might be able to do it. We'll probably see a handoff to Douglas Brown and potentially see some overtime, a little bit of free football, as they say.
Yeah, and look, we have seen pretty electric things from both Douglas Brown and Gabriel Manning. So let's not rule out that. It looked like it could be something to Gabriel Manning.
Q fires down the left-hand side, and it's taken away. And that is how we will end regulation. He was trying to hit Gabriel Manning, and we are going to overtime.
Yeah, Davis and Joseph seen that one coming the whole way. He saw the formation. He's like, yeah, they're going to throw it to, one of their best offensive players, and he's just going to be there. So good for him.
4 quarters was not enough to decide this one. 31-31 at the end of regulation, and we will get overtime started. Overtime rules in the Simulation Football League. First one to score in any manner wins the game. The Desperados will receive. So, hey, Gabriel Manning will get another shot at a kick return. Just like that.
Yeah,
Timeouts apiece for both teams. Whistle Jones getting the ball teed up.
Yeah, I don't know if they're, we could have one of those Jeffrey Dagg moments here, but I want more football than just a kick return here.
Oh, I love a good kick return for a touchdown. We'll see what Manning can do. Takes it from his own goal line again and returns it up to the middle. Carolina says, nope, that's as far as you're going to go. We got a game update from Cameron Irvine back at SFL Studios.
Thank you, Mike Daggs. On the last play of the game, Sioux Falls may have lost the game, Mike St. Green, but they ruined the cover.
Well, they won my cover, Cam. I had Sioux Falls plus the points, and you see that David Tyree right here finds A.J. Warren. He takes it all the way to the end zone. Sioux Falls then get the extra point and only lose by 10. And I'm going to the cashier's bar.
Baltimore 7-0. Sioux Falls falls to 3-4. Back to Mike and Gerald in Tulsa.
Thank you, Cam. Second down and 12. Douglas Brown with a loss of 2 on that play. Offset I formation. JQ changing the play at the line. 3 receivers set. Oh, out route down to the bottom. That one's complete. Going back to Corey Jones for his second reception of the ball game. 3rd and 6.
And once again, it puts Tulsa into a very, very third and manageable here. They haven't been great on third down. They've been 5 for 12 on the game.
Play action, quick pass, and that one is complete. DJ Hume with the catch. Haven't called his name in a little while, Gerald, and he comes through clutch right there.
Yeah, and that was the first. I believe that was the first play action pass we've seen all game there. It was something Carolina hadn't seen all day, and it looked like they, caused those cornerbacks to kind of stay closer to the line of scrimmage, and the receiver was able to just get right behind him and get open.
Douglas Brown takes that handoff up the middle for 3. Sets up a second down and 7 at their own 45.
Now, we're going to see how productive they can be on second down here. You see the down where they are their most productive, if I'm remembering this correctly, throughout the whole game. But they've had some pretty successful plays on second down.
4 wide receiver look for the Desperados. Out route up to the top. Going back to Hume once again. And he'll get the first down inside Carolina territory. About, what do you say, Gerald, about 10 yards away from the outside of field goal range for Brooke Beisel?
Yeah, I believe so. If they get 10 more yards, it puts it in a realistic range. We don't know I don't know which way the wind's blowing here, but it might be a little bit longer if they have a wind to their backs.
2 to the right, 2 to the left. Under pressure, down he goes. Way far outside field goal range now as he's sacked back in Tulsa territory. A big loss of 9 on the play.
Yeah, that one. There was a coverage sack on that one there, right? He looked like he was getting ready to throw it, but he couldn't hold on to the ball that long. The defenders on the Carolina side, we're on their receivers and allowed them to hold on to the ball a little bit too long for the defensive line to get to the quarterback.
Christopher Colon with his 4th and a half sack on the season. That one couldn't have come at a better time. Throwing this one up top, connecting back with Jim Copeland Jr., the tight end. Gets the 9-yard loss back, but it's going to be a 3rd down and 10, still well outside field goal range.
Yeah, and they can convert this, right? They did one just a little bit earlier, early in their drive on 3rd down, and convert it, and they're coming out in a set that we know they're going to throw the ball.
JQ, 25 of 32. Here comes pass 33. Goes over the middle, and it's caught. Off to the races. Is he going to make it all the way down to the 6? A first down and goal, and that's just absolutely crushing to Carolina as Tulsa is beyond well inside field goal range now, Gerald. I think they might just center this one up and kick it.
Right, and they had him in a situation where we need him, where they wanted him, and I do believe if the defender would have played the receiver instead of the ball, I think he has a chance of breaking that pass up.
Yeah, and they're not even gonna mess around. Brooke Beisel out right now for the game winner. The field goal is up, nearly blocked, but it's good from 22 yards. So Tulsa has a scare, but they're able to come away with the win on the opening possession of overtime. 34-31, Tulsa with the victory. That is your final score here from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Gerald, your final thoughts on this game?
Carolina was able to make a game of it in the fourth quarter. I do believe they scored 24 fourth quarter points, but Tulsa was able to get that huge pick 6 to be able to, put Carolina in a situation where they had to go down late in the game and tie it up. And Tulsa did in overtime what any team would want to do in overtime. You get the ball first. You don't waste any time. You go down the field. You don't give the other opponent a chance at the ball, and you just drive down there and get your points and walk away with the win.
Absolutely. Tulsa needed a come-from-behind win in the second half of their game last week. This week, they went into the second half with the lead and nearly had their opponent, the Skyhawks, have a come-from-behind victory of their own. But they're able to hold on. 34-31 is the final. The Skyhawks will fall to 3-4 on the season. The Desperados will improve to 5-2. Next up for Carolina on Sunday, September 4th, they'll be back home. They'll host Minnesota. For Tulsa, they're going to hit the road next week, Friday, September 2nd. We will head to Sioux Falls, take on the Desperados. Coming up next at 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time, just moments after the post-game update. Lone Star Glory at Arizona. Michael Trillo and Aaron Alexander on the call. Game will be on the SFL's YouTube page at 9:20 p.m. Jacksonville will be in Denver. Ramos Lynn and Mark Lopez on the call on SFL Twitch. Simulation Football League action will return in Week 9 on Friday, September 2nd, 6:30 p.m. Jacksonville and Florida, Vancouver and Queen City in that time slot. All sorts of action in this one, Gerald. We got to see some extra football. So, player of the game, do you think it could be anybody but Douglas Brown?
It could be JQ, right? Because he was so efficient, with the passing, especially in those clutch moments in overtime. But I don't think it could be anybody else but Douglas Brown with the yardage he ran for. 7.8 yards a carry, 2 total touchdowns on the day. At one point, he was the entire Tulsa offense, in the third quarter. In the time he kind of took over the third quarter. So I don't think it could be anybody else other than him.
Over 200 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns for Douglas Brown. But yeah, JQ, especially on that first drive of overtime, the only drive of overtime, very methodical. But we'll see. It is indeed Douglas Brown for his performance. 164 yards on the ground, 45 yards through the air. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. Final is Tulsa 34, Carolina 31. For Gerald Smith, Jay Hayden, Engage, Cameron Irvine, and Matt Wilson, who will always be with me in spirit, I am Mike Dagg saying thank you for joining us. Be kind to one another. Always choose happy. Stay tuned right here on Next Level Sports, the SFL post-game report with Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green's coming up after the break.
Welcome back to SFL Studios for Sim Football Postgame. Along with Mike St. Green, I'm Cameron Irvine. Quickly wrapping up today's action after Tulsa defeated Carolina in overtime. Your impressions, Mike, of Tulsa's 5-game winning streak?
They've been extremely impressive during this winning streak. We mentioned Douglas Brown in the open, and he did not disappoint. 164 yards rushing on the day, over 200 yards of total offense, and he's been, he's just fantastic today. Gabriel Manning with a long touchdown catch earlier in this game as well. And then, the 9-season pro, Sonzo Robertson, with his only catch of the game, coming through huge in overtime when they really needed him the most on a big third down play to get them set up for Brooke Beisel, who opened the scoring for Tulsa with a field goal and obviously closed it out with the field goal in overtime.
Baltimore beats Sioux Falls 31-21. They stay undefeated 7-0. Quick, Mike, 30 seconds. Why should they tune in tomorrow? Indianapolis, D.C., 8:45 p.m. Eastern.
Well, DC, they've been great so far this season as well. Only one loss on the season. And Indianapolis, an expansion team, they've been struggling coming out of the gate, but a huge performance last week. 6 touchdowns on the ground for the running back, Brad Jones, and should be a great matchup to see if Indianapolis can keep things rolling. And DC, they want to keep pace with the Baltimore Vultures over there in the Atlantic Division.
From all of us at the Simulation Football League, thank you for joining us today for the Saturday Showcase. Sunday Spotlight coming up tomorrow. D.C., Indianapolis. For Mike St. Green, I'm Cameron Irvine. This has been a presentation of the SFL presented by APM Music. Good night, everybody.